Hello and welcome to the Record Club, brought to you by Record Store Day, the official charts and National Album Day, and proudly in association with Bowers and Wilkins. My name is Jess Izzat, and we are very excited to say that tonight's episode is a Record Store Day special. And our guest is Fatboy Slim to talk all about the release of Everybody Loves a Remix, an exclusive vinyl release available this Saturday, April the 20th, from your local record store. If you don't already know, Record Store Day is a huge celebration of independent record shops, the culture of record shopping, and the art of vinyl. And that is what we champion every single week here on the Record Club. If you're new here, we're going to be spending the next half an hour or so talking to Fatboy Slim about the brilliant new record. And then we're going to be putting forward some of your questions about the album for him to answer about the record. So if you want to get involved, drop us a question in the comments section below. I'm going to be asking a selection of them in the second half of our chat, and one lucky person who sends in a question today will be randomly selected to win a pair of Bowers and Wilkins PX7 Season 2 over-ear noise-cancelling headphones. Obviously, a wicked prize that you do not want to miss out on. You also do not want to miss out on this record. Trust me, head out on Saturday to get your hands on a copy. But first, let's get straight into this week's Record Club and say a big hello to Fatboy Slim. Norman, welcome along.
Here I am. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. If I look a little weird, by the way, my eyes, I've spent all afternoon doing a photo session with some really heavy makeup on, and I'm not used to it. And then my daughter just tried to clear all the makeup on. She's put all this weird serum on my face. So my eyes are smarting a bit. So if I look a bit weird, I'm sorry, that's why.
It's fine. You're looking very HD, and I feel like your background is just the perfect background for the Record Club as well. Admiring.
Well, yes, old school, old collection.
Is this a collection that you go through regularly, or is it like quite aesthetic now?
This just there that's the CD element, which to be honest is mainly kind of reference things, because most of my collection is vinyl, but I can't really show you at the moment. You have to believe me, it's over there. But the main amount of it is in my studio next door. There's about 8,000 in there. 8,000 records. Can I just say, by the way, there's a thing with the younger generation, my children, that they call records vinyls.
Vinyls, yeah.
Yeah.
Corrected that a few times. Vinyl.
Records, but which is I think in this. Can I just lodge my grumpy old man complaint?
Wait, educate us.
Records, which is short for phonographic recordings. Record is short for that. They're not vinyls. Vinyl is what they're made out of, not what they are.
Okay.
The tree ends here. You can now get on. Sorry.
Right, clip that, save that, spread the word, and we've all been educated here and therefore. Right, well, obviously it's the Record Club, and so we're doing it right in that sense. Each week on the Record Club, we like to kick things off with a question from one of the many amazing independent record stores from across the UK. This week's question comes from Crash Records in Leeds. Have you been there?
I've not, no.
Well, they've been quite cheeky. They've got two questions for you. One of them says, Record Store Day is a chance to get your hands on some very limited releases. We'd like to know what record you would most like to own that you haven't already got.
Oh, that's a good question. I've been collecting the records for nearly 50 years. So I've pretty much got all of them. I don't know. No, I think I've got all. As far as I know, I've got all the ones that I've ever wanted. And yeah, I make it a point, if there's one that I want, I make a point of buying it.
I guess maybe an exclusive that's coming out this Saturday. Then you'll find out about.
There's probably stuff coming out on this Saturday that when I look it up, it's like I need one of them. So yeah, it's something that's brand new and good for you.
And the second question from Crash Records, they're asking, Everybody Loves a Remix arrives this Record Store Day, which is Saturday, on a super cool looking.
We're all doing our product tonight. Okay.
Here we go.
It's a very attractive looking record, you have to admit.
It is beautiful. I mean, it is so sick. So they said this is on a cool zoetrope vinyl, which, by the way, you've educated me on what a zoetrope is as well, because I didn't previously know, or I didn't know the name for it. Strobe, you put a strobe light on it whilst it's playing, and you'll be able to
Yes,
see
I
it
mean,
move.
it's the basic basis of films of motion pictures. That's the idea. Is that like you look through and it strobes each different things, and you make it look like it's really moving. So yeah, so when you play this on your record deck, and you look at it, it should animate and turn into a feature film, and that's how. Yeah, that's how films. I'm full of useless knowledge today, aren't I?
No, I love it. I love it. They're asking though, what is the coolest vinyl variant that you own? Maybe it's a special color or artwork or another zoetrope.
The one that springs to mind was when they first started doing picture discs in the 80s. I was in a band called the House Martins, and the record company really wanted us to have a picture disc, and we really didn't, because it was just like too much of a fad. And in those days, picture discs didn't actually play very well. They looked good, but they hadn't quite got the thing, and they'd never sounded very good. So we said, they said, "What's your design for picture disc?" And we said, "Can it be picture discs are crap?" And a picture of a toilet. So we made a toilet-shaped picture disc record, which just said "picture discs are crap," and that's always. I don't know. It tickled me. It tickled me at the time, and still does.
It's
And
funny because it's so anti. It's like Dada. Like you're like, I want to literally put a toilet on
yeah,
this.
I mean, I can't believe the record company went for it. I mean, this
They probably were like, this
is
is
a testament to
genius.
them
Why
giving
do we
us
not think of this?
it's artistic freedom.
And with this, so I've noticed that, well, I'm imagining, actually, I can already see sort of what's going to happen on the face of this. People at home, this is available on Saturday. Um, what did you have to do for this? I imagine it was a photo shoot of sorts, or is it AI? What's happening here?
No, it's all AI. I mean, no, the outer one. I'm just going to see if it works actually. There might be a way we can make this work on
Oh, this is awesome.
certain
Okay.
speed. If I get that speed right,
By hand, getting the speed right. This, no,
on a
this is an
viral
art, isn't it?
thing should. It's not huge.
Um,
It's not hugely working, is it?
no,
No.
but
But
I
the
like
outside
the
bit,
idea.
those things of me there, those things of me, that's like a visual from the live show. So that is me actually saying Fatboy Slim is in heaven, as I believe. So yeah, no, it's just like images that when they spin around, they should
Come to
show
life.
and prevent a moving image.
Again, you're going to have to get your own to see it properly, but that was a little model for you.
That was a failed experiment. I should have checked that first, whether it worked or not.
All right. Well, obviously, big ups to Crash Records as well. I'm assuming that they've got loads of these in stock. Right. Well, Norman, can you tell us a bit about why you chose to release this record for Record Store Day? Like, what was the ignition to get this out as a special?
Well, the idea is I'd come from such a background in records and in my own. In fact, my only honest job outside being a musician, my only honest job was working in a record shop. So I feel a tremendous affinity. So when record shop comes around each year, I want to get involved and I want to do something. But obviously, I'm not really producing a huge amount of music, and so I haven't got something new and exclusive to play you, and I haven't got any sort of offcuts and B-sides and rarities because I haven't made any new stuff. So the only way I could get involved is to normally is to put out stuff that hasn't been on vinyl before. So pretty much all of these remixes have been available. Yeah, they've all been available before, like as a stream or as a download, but they've never been available on vinyl. So the idea is just to have a special vinyl version. But to be honest, I just want to be involved in Record Store Day, and it just gives me an excuse to put something out on vinyl.
Will you be heading out on Record Store Day? Would you head to any of the record shops?
I hopefully will be, yeah. I hopefully will be. And like you said, that there must be new stuff that's coming out exclusive to Record Store Day, which I should be buying.
Is there an art to record digging? Because I imagine if someone's maybe doing it for the first time, it might be a bit overwhelming, or yeah, or maybe you have some tricks of the trade that you can share.
Well, I mean, there's two kinds of record shopping. The crate digging of old stuff, and then the buying of new stuff. And they're very different beasts, really. And I suppose it sort of strikes me, it's weird because new vinyl is it's kind of highly regarded, but it's quite highly priced. And I just recently bought from my daughter, just got a record player for Christmas. And so we bought her a load of vinyl. I was amazed how much like the new albums cost. But a lot of those albums I was buying her were like classic albums that she just wanted to have. And I was thinking, if you look secondhand for them, it's a lot cheaper if you don't have to have the pristine copy or the gatefold thing. I've noticed that the new ones all have like you can come with posters and gatefold sleeves and that. No, just wandering around buying pre-owned, pre-loved records is a fabulous pastime. And you always end up chatting to someone else in the shop or the guy who runs the shop. It's the smell. The smell of old vinyl is a powerful and evocative thing for me. So yeah, that's the sort of afternoons where but it's not something that you can source and look up. You just go and see what's there and think, oh, I've always wanted a copy of that, or I haven't heard that before, as opposed to buying new stuff. It's like, it's just come out and you go and buy it. But yeah, crate digging for me has always been such a pleasure. And obviously I was crate digging for years as a DJ, but also as a sample spotter to try and find samples to make records out of. So I used to spend, probably 2 days of my week in record shops.
Do you have like a favorite record store, or maybe one that's like your local, or like your favorite one?
My local at the moment is Resident in Brighton. They serve me very well. But then, there's the secondhand shops are probably where I spend more of my afternoons. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't work with vinyl anymore. I don't DJ with vinyl anymore, just because it was too difficult to source Technics 1200s that were clean and worked, and to go on stage with somebody's knackered old record player and have the decks jump. So I've gone digital. So I don't. It's not so much of a work thing for me anymore. But in my youth, I would spend so many hours. I think A1 Records in New York was one of my favorites. But my favorite, or just thrift stores. Thrift stores in America are great. They're much better quality of records than sort of Oxfam in England, where you tend to always get the same records. That's what I don't understand. Is there's so many people bought so many brilliant records, and they've all in the last 10 years got rid of them because they needed the room in their house. And yet the Oxfam stores are still full of copies of My Fair Lady and the marching band of the Scotch Spoons. So I don't know where all the good records are going. They're all on Discogs, I suppose.
Maybe people in the UK are just keeping them, or maybe they're getting them to the right places.
Yeah. But as well as most of the record stores involved in Record Store Day are things like Resident that are serving the new stuff. Let's get back on topic, shall we?
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, how you mentioned that you'd gone digital for various reasons. Well, we were just chatting about snowbombing last week. I don't think you would have been able to do 6 shows across the mountain with a whole box of vinyl with you.
I did actually have a flashback when I had to go on a skidoo from one of the gigs to the other. The only way we could get there was a skidoo, which is quite a hairy experience. Not my favourite thing. And I remembered one of my nightmare journeys was a skidoo ride in my younger days, but I had like a box of I had 12-inch singles on my lap as we were trying to go up the mountain. And it's immensely more portable if you're digital these days.
That's an image. I wish someone had packed you with that. That's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Or the second. I mean, the worst one was playing at Cafe Del Mar in Ibiza, or was it Mambo? I think it might have been Mambo. And I'd been out on a boat, and then we thought it'd be fun to come in by boat, but trying to get my box of records off a boat on a little dinghy.
Quite precarious.
Yeah. And I put it in like 3 bin liners in case it fell off.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dawley got his mum to FedEx some to a festival. I think it was the first Lost Village, and it just made me laugh so much because I was like, imagining his mum packing his vinyl into a box and FedExing it over. Well, let's get on to actually the record before we dive into any of your questions at home. I want to know which remix on this record you were most happy with, or excited by, or like surprised by at the time of getting the remix.
Well, I mean, I have to give big props to Calvin Harris for what he did with Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat, because I think that's probably the only one of my tunes where the remix was the hit. And his version was so much better than mine. You know, normally I'll put a tune out and then someone will remix it. It's kind of nice, but that became the hit. So big up Calvin for doing that for us. So I've got a lot of time, but obviously I've heard that one quite a few times. I tend to be more excited about the Jay Robinson version of Rockefeller Skank. I played to death.
I love that. I literally love that one.
Last summer, and really got some. But again, I'm now a little bit over that because I played it so much. The newest is probably Dance Systems version of Your Mama. I really love what Harry Romero did with Everybody Loves a 303. Really kind of sexy tech acid version. And of course, but probably the biggest one at the moment really is Bruno Martini's version of Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat. It's a bit EDM for me. I don't actually play it in my sets, but that's kind of the biggest, the most current and biggest out of them.
All right, loose link, but you've got a tune Weapon of Choice. But what is your current weapon of choice in your sets?
In my set, it's called Satisfied by David Penn and oh god, I should remember this really, shouldn't I? David Penn and a Fire.
Nice. We're gonna have lots of people scribbling this down and getting it.
David Penn and a Fire, Satisfied. I think it's out. I got sent a couple of weeks ago. That is my huge tune at the moment. It sounds like the Cuban Brothers. No, the Gibson Brothers. Not the Cuban Brothers. No, not the Cuban Brothers. They're completely different. So, the Gibson Brothers, who did Cuba. It sounds like Gibson Brothers, but like brought up to the 21st century and doing some really good quality gear.
And also, I know that there is a big disparity. I mean, Snowbombing was pretty good, actually. There are a lot of female DJs on the lineup. Thankfully, I was one of them as well. If you were to get a female or perhaps non-binary producer to jump on a remix of one of your tunes, I remember, there's a couple of artists that you've had on your stages. I was at Creamfields last year. I'm not going to put any names into your mouth, but who would you pick to jump on a remix of yours?
I don't know. Interesting and might be pertinent, might happen. Sort of Sarah Story always comes to mind because I think she's in terms of female DJs, she's kind of like the figurehead, and so I figure go to start at the top and then it'll filter down. Or well, actually, what I would do if it was right now, I would say to Sarah, who's really hot right now, because I it's only kind of when we do things like Minehead that I get to see everyone. So yeah, Sarah Story would be my linchpin.
Oh, she is such a good person because tastemaker as well. She sings as well, so I don't know what mad stuff she could do with a remix. That would be awesome. I'd definitely back that. And also, I remember, so you've mentioned it already, you don't make much new music, but is it a complete no to ever doing a Fatboy Slim record album?
I think probably an album record, yes, because they kind of ceased to be important really in the way that they were when we were buying vinyl records. That was the conglomeration, and that was like everything would revolve around that album. But the way that the releases come out now, it's not quite so important that things are packaged up into that length, and I think a lot of people like to have just stuff coming out and trickling out rather than going, oh, this is an album and you listen to it from start to finish. And yes, and the idea of me sitting down and spending that amount of time writing a whole album is probably not going to happen in my lifetime. It's just, I mean, I just haven't got the passion for making records that I used to. And every now and then I have something and I think, oh yeah, and we'll bung that out as a single, because I've got a single coming out actually next month called Role Model. And every now and then I have a little idea, but I don't, I just haven't got the passion. And but also I just don't think an album is relevant anymore. I would put out a flow of singles.
I'm gonna say that's a good answer for you. I think for us, albums are very important, but
Really? Well,
I do agree.
Don't forget, I'm not represented
No, this is true.
of normal listeners because I'm in the business, and because I'm a DJ. I I'm not listening to album tracks. I need a flow of singles. So maybe that's just my take on it. But
I also think on top of that, the dance music scene is completely different. It is like you can create an album if, like you said, the passion is there, but if it's not, there isn't any need for it.
Yeah, and I've made quite a few over the years. I think we've possibly made enough.
I mean, you still have the records, so I'm here for it as well. Just nipping the new music questions in the bud. Although the new song, did you say next month?
Yeah, I think it's fairly imminent. Yeah, we're just we're just making a video for it. Yeah, I should be role model.
Role model, everyone, and also this Saturday, the Everybody Loves remix.
And Lucas
on your Facebook page is asking, what was your favorite ever record to play? That's a big one.
My favorite ever record to play, God, I still really love Born Slippy. It just reminds me of a moment in life and a moment in music, and just never ceases to raise my spirits. And it's a good get out of jail record in your DJ sets.
We have Seren on YouTube who's saying, what was the design process with the zoetrope effect?
The design process from my end was somebody designed it and they showed it to me and said, do you like this? And I said, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming, I'm hoping that it was done by someone very scientific as well as artistic, but I wasn't involved in the process apart from okaying it as a great idea. They did send me about 4 different kind of takes on it, and I chose this one, but I should at this point give props to the person who did it, but it's not written on there. Anyway, big props did do.
I can't. Well, even if it is, people can get their own copy this Saturday as a record store day special, and I think it might say it in the small print somewhere.
I can't see it. Maybe you have to be playing it before it appears magically in there.
This is true. Wayne on Fatboy Slim's Facebook page says, "Hi Norman, what is your best record to find?" What is your best record find? There we go. What's the best one that you found?
Oh, well, Wayne, my best record find was in a junk shop. I found a copy of the Pass the Peas album by the JBs for 10p. And at that time, it was worth about 30 quid. And I just couldn't believe I just found it literally sort of 4 doors down from my house in a second-hand shop.
That is amazing. 10p.
10p, yeah. I've still got the 10p label on it just to remind myself. And it was such a sought after and brilliant record. JB's being James Brown's backing band, Fred Wesley, and 10p for a £30 record. Done.
That's insane. That's a catch on any level. We've got Dips on Twitter who says, how did you narrow down all the remixes out there to make the selection for this record?
Just the ones that we thought were most they're probably about the 6 most recent that we've had done. So they're the latest update. Actually, I just thought a better answer for Wayne from before, actually, of what was my best find. My best find was buying a record by Camille Yarborough called Take Your Praise. which was it was like a bootleg of funk classics or funk rarities actually, and it was basically it was the vocals from Praise You, and it started
Oh, wow.
We've come a long way together through the hard times and the good, and so I sampled that and put it on Praise You, and so I think probably that would, in terms of what that's done for my career and what the success I've had with that record, that purchase, which was a bit more than 10p, I think it was like £5 or something, but probably the best £5 I ever spent.
Yeah, amazing. Historic now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we have Nathan on the Record Club's YouTube, which is saying, what is your favorite remix that you've ever done?
My favorite remix that I've ever done. I did a version of Outcast, Fresh and So Clean, which kind of I forgot for ages, and then I heard it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." And then I realised it was me, and I think because some of them, I mean, obviously, there's things like Brimful of Asher and things that did really well, but I can't sort of you hear them quite a lot, and you take them a bit more for granted. But Outcast. So fresh. Sorry, I did put my phone on silent, but someone's still ringing me. I don't know how to stop that.
Urgent.
Hold on, Sarah. I'm just live on a live stream. I can't talk about I'm on a live stream. No, I'll be finished about 15 minutes. All right, thanks, bye. About that.
To be fair, that's the first phone call that we've had. Lots of pets, but no phone calls on the
really sorry, but I do apologise. Where was I? Sorry.
We were talking about. I've actually lost it as well.
Remixes to Fresh and So Clean.
Oh yeah, and you were saying about your Outcast.
Yeah.
Mix. I feel like that's a good answer, to be fair. I am a big fan of that song generally. And we have one more actually from Michael, who is asking, who's your favourite crowd to play at to around the world? I think the Rockness crowd was the best.
Rockness crowd was in the top 5. In terms of volume and exuberance, they were a great crew. I don't know. I really love the Brazilians. I really love the Brazilians. They're like the Rockness crowd, but slightly better looking.
Maybe a bit more tan.
Am I allowed to say that? Is that too rude? Passion mixed with No. If there was a top 5, it would be Brazil, Japan, Brighton, the Stores, which is the village where Loch Ness is, and Italy. Italians.
Okay.
Italians are nutters. They've got a passion about music and a passion about partying that's second to none.
It surprises me that Japan would be second, but I like that.
Oh, that was no particular. That was the top 5, but I'm not. I'd have to think about the order. And for now, we'll put Rockness at number 1.
Okay, there we go. Well, thank you, Michael, for your question. Well, Norman, that is actually all we have time for today. We've obviously loved having Fatboy Slim join us. Make sure to grab yourself a copy of the Everybody Loves a Remix vinyl exclusively for this Saturday from your local record shop this Saturday, April the 20th.
For one day only, kids. Go out and get it.
On Record Store, and it was spin and animate a lot better than we have been modelling today. I'm also very excited to announce that the winner of this week's Bowers & Wilkins Wireless Headphones prize is, if I can get my words out, we have Wayne on Fatboy Slim's page. So please.
Why? Because you know what? Because those Bowers & Wilkins are the ones that I use at home, but I haven't got I haven't got the wireless ones though.
You need to be getting these PX7 Season 2 over-ear noise-cancelling bad boys.
Is still with it.
Please slide into the Record Club's DMs. We'll get those headphones to you, and then you could be like Fatboy Slim and I. Thank you, of course, everyone for joining us, sending in your questions. This plus all previous episodes are available to watch back on Spotify or YouTube. Fatboy Slim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.